Remember me? I don't know where I've been. I've just done nothing online for a good few years, and I have just come back from a weekend up in Edinburgh doing some training with Christine Webber. Some of you may remember my classes sort of shifted a little bit during lockdown to a more slow and mindful approach of yoga, which is so much more inclusive, so much more accessible, and has such great functional, healthy benefits for both the body and the mind. And I thought today, because I've just learned all this knowledge and I want to share it, I would do a little class for you. So grab your mats, pop your comfy pants on, and meet me there. Okay, coming down into Shavasana. You can stay with the knees bent, you can lay with the legs extended, whatever works for you. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable. Allow the arms just to find their space away from the body slightly. And let's start with 3 slow, mindful breaths in and out, bringing us into this space, preparing for our practice. Take your time. And when you finish those breaths, just start to follow the breath in and out of the body. No need to change it, just finding your comfortable rhythm. And letting all of your body be soft, held by the earth beneath you. And I could just invite a little bit of movement. On your next inhalation, just allow your right fingers to stretch away just a little bit, just a gentle movement. And as you exhale, the fingertips just fall back in towards the palm of the hand. And then travelling over to the left side, just extending those fingers nice and comfortably. And on the exhale, just letting them come back in again. Just keep that going from side to side with your comfortable pattern of breath. And the next time you come back to the right hand, we're going to add the left foot. So extending the fingers away, just having a little flex into your left foot, as if there's a connection there. And then as you exhale, release the foot, release the hand. And then swapping sides, so left hand opens, right foot flexes. And as you exhale, they release. And just keep that going. Don't worry if you're going quicker or slower than me, just working alternately across the body. As if the hands and the foot just gently connected as they move. Let's do one more either side. Doesn't need to be a big movement, just soft. And when you've finished that second one, and please don't rush, take your time. We're going to do both hands and both feet at the same time. So just inhaling, opening the hands, flexing the feet. When you're ready to exhale, just curling those hands back in, softening the feet. And in your own time, do 2 more. And when you've finished your last one, just pause for a moment and notice. Notice how the body feels, any sensations in the hands, the feet, the wrists, the ankles. Notice how the breath feels. And just softly tuning in to how the mind feels. And then when you're ready, bring the hands down by the sides of the hips, palms facing down, and bring both feet up flat on the mat, knees up towards the ceiling. Bring the right knee in towards the chest and just hold on to the kneecap with your right hand, and then just have a little rotation around in one direction. Noticing the sensations as you do so, and the eyes can be closed here, or you can just soften the gaze up towards the ceiling, and then change direction a few times. And when you've completed that one, just lower the foot back down. Take a moment and a breath just to pause and observe how the right leg feels compared to the left. And let's do the same with the left leg. So bringing the knee in, left hand holds onto the kneecap. A few rotations around in one direction. And just paying attention to how the hips feel. How does the left hip feel compared to the right? Change in the direction of the circle. Notice the rest of the body moving to accommodate those circles. And when you've completed that, bring the left knee in, bring the right knee in to meet it, and hold on to both kneecaps with your hands. As you exhale, just allow the knees to float in towards the chest and the spine to lengthen a little bit. And then as you inhale, allow the knees to float away from the body, the arms to lengthen. And as you exhale, knees come back into the chest. Checking in with how the lower back feels today. Inhale to extend. And exhale, knees come into the chest. Just pause there for a moment, maybe have a little rock from side to side. Lower both feet down to the ground. And then roll onto your side. And slowly use your hands to bring yourself up to a comfortable sitting position. And you might like to grab a block or a little bolster, something just to lift your hips up. Just for a moment, and come into an easy, comfortable pose. This doesn't have to be cross-legged if that's not comfortable for you. And think about your spine being beautifully tall. So think about your tailbone rooting down, connecting with the earth. And that lovely spine, that central column stacked up all the way up to the crown of your head. Lovely and tall, shoulders nicely relaxed. Now, bring your hands to the front of your chest, the upper chest, just underneath the collarbones. And tuck your thumbs in your armpits. And I just want you to explore the breath for a moment. So think about, first of all, breathing into the belly, if that feels comfortable. There's no right or wrong, just drawing the awareness down to the belly. And maybe you can notice with the awareness on the belly a little bit of movement up underneath the collarbone. So just being aware. And now take the awareness up to the space where your hands are. So breathe in all the way into the body. And noticing the gentle expansion of the rib cage. So just play with that movement for a moment. And you could be seated on a chair if sitting on the ground is not comfortable for you for this. You might even like to soften or close the eyes and just turn inwards and notice that rising movement of the breath in the body. Okay, release the arms down by the side. And staying with that breath, of that feeling of lifting and opening all the way from the belly and upwards. See if you can just invite a gentle movement of the arms out to the side. As you breathe in, the arms just gently lift. Only needs to be an inch or two. And as you exhale, they gently fall. So as if the breath is starting the movement. So breathing all the way up. And you might like to exaggerate the movement of your arms this time. So maybe taking up a little bit higher. And exhaling down. And don't worry if you're going at a different pace to me. Just let your pace come and go. You might even still have the eyes closed. And then just to see what it feels like. See if you can initiate the movement from the spine. And then lift the arms up to wherever's comfortable for you. And as you exhale, firm the lower belly, firm the abdomen slightly, release the arms down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting via the spine, via the rib cage, helping the arms to lift. And exhale to lower down. And you might like to lift the gaze as you inhale. Lift the gaze, lift the spirits. And as you exhale, just softly tuck the chin down, take the gaze down to the ground. And then pause there for a moment. Just let the hands rest. Just pausing and noticing. So we're going to be working with that structural breath today, helping the movement of the spine lift and move the limbs of the body. Okay, so coming over onto your knees. If you had a block or a bolster, just move that out the way for a moment. And let's stack our hands underneath the shoulders, knees roughly underneath the hips. And as you inhale, pull your fingertips towards your knees slightly, lift the chest through the arms, lift the gaze upwards. As you exhale, chin to chest, forearms to the mat, hips towards the heels. And let's do that 3 more times. So inhaling, pulling the fingertips towards the knees, lift the chest, lift the face. Exhale, firm the belly, chin to chest, forearms to the mat, hips to heels. One last time, inhale up. Exhale all the way back to child's pose. Let's hang out here for a moment, maybe having a little sway from side to side. If your forehead doesn't comfortably rest on the ground, you can either use a block or you can build your hands onto like a little building block and bring your forehead on there. And then just pause and notice. Okay, and then invite the arms to stretch out a little bit further along the mat. If you need more space for your belly, take the knees slightly wider apart. And taking a nice deep breath in, we're going to walk the hands over to the right a little bit. So maybe the right hand comes off the mat, the left arm comes over on top. Bow the forehead down and be aware of the stretch you're creating in the left side of the body. And maybe you can sink your left hip back down to the heel slightly. Now think about filling yourself up into the left side of the body, creating space between the rib cage, up into the armpit, the shoulder, side of the waist, and all the way down to the hip. And then slowly unravel, come back through center and make your way all the way over to the left. Again, it doesn't need to be a big stretch, just where you can accommodate and appreciate the length down the right side of the body. Stay there for a few breaths. And then walk the hands back through center. Walk the hands towards the knees. You can bring the knees to about hip distance apart. Tuck the toes under. And if appropriate for you, lift both knees and walk the hands slowly, slowly up the legs until you come up to standing. Ta-da! And take your time here. If you feel a little dizzy, just give everything a little shake out. And then coming towards the top of your mat. Feet about hip distance apart. If you feel happy to, close the eyes or just soften the gaze down for a moment and notice how it feels to come up to standing. Quite a different sensation on the nervous system. Please take a slightly deeper breath in, flicker open the eyes. I'm going to do a few rounds of moving mountain. So just to remind you of moving mountain, we're going to inhale to sweep the arms wide as if the spine is helping to move the limbs, maybe lifting the heels. And as you exhale, lower the hands, lower the heels back down. Don't worry about the heels if that creates problems with the balance. You can just stay rooted. So inhaling, initiating that movement with the breath. Exhaling, zipping up the lower abdomen, lowering the heels. Let's do that one more time. So breathing into the rib cage helps to lift the arms. And let's just pause here for a moment. As you exhale, you might like to soften the elbows and the shoulders slightly, maybe dropping the heels halfway. And then inhale to rise and lengthen. Exhale to soften, don't worry about wobbling. And let's inhale, rise up, reach a little bit higher for fun. And then exhale, lower the hands, lower the heels. You're welcome to come straight to mountain pose and notice if you feel like you need to shake, wiggle and jiggle, give everything a little shake out. And again, come to that moment to pause and notice. Feeling those radiant sensations in the hands, the feet, maybe up into the chest. That sense of rising, nourishing energy within your body. Okay, let's take a slightly deeper breath in. Right foot comes forwards, left foot comfortably back. So we're coming into a variation of Warrior One. We'll start with the front leg straight, soft knees if that's more appropriate for you, and the back toes turned out about 45 degrees. Okay, on an inhalation, we're going to bend through the front leg, slide the arms up, really soft arms, lifting the gaze. As you exhale, zip the lower abdomen out, float the arms down, straighten the front leg. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. And again, you might be going quicker or slower than me. Now, this time as you inhale, I'd like you to think of your rib cage as a little hot air balloon, lifting upwards. Firm the belly as you exhale, float the arms down. And this time we're going to stay in the pose. So inhaling up, bringing the palms to face one another, sinking down through your leg, and just check if the alignment of your kneecap is over the second and third toe. Now find your breath again here. Breathing in 360 degrees into the rib cage. And then zipping up as if you're trying to get into your skinny jeans from the 80s as you exhale. Okay, now see if you can invite the breath in for a count of 4. And exhale to a count of 6. If this is too much for the shoulders, cactus the arms, bring the hands to prayer. This time, inhale for 5. And exhale for 6, zipping up the lower abdomen. And lastly, inhale for 6. And exhale for 6. Last one. Inhale, rising up slightly. And as you exhale, release the hands, straighten the front leg. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. Inhale here, lift and lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, soft knee, start to fold down over that front leg. As you inhale, cactus the arms, lift the head, lengthen through the spine, press through the feet to come back up. Exhale, slide the hands down. Inhale, cactus the arms, lift the head, lengthen the spine, press back out. Last one, we'll stay here this time. So exhale to fold down. And stay in the pose. You can bring your hands to your thighs, your calves, your ankle, maybe reach the ground. Maybe even have 2 blocks either side of you to give yourself a little bit more height. Give the head a nod and shake, release the head down. And then just finding the soft flow of your breath again. Maybe soften those shoulders slightly. Be aware of all the sensations along the back of your leg. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, firm the lower abdomen. As you inhale, cactus the arms, lift the head, lengthen through the spine, come back out. Release the hands down. And if the legs will move, step the back foot forwards. Have a little wiggle, have a little jiggle. And then take a moment to come into that interoceptive awareness, just pausing to notice. And again, you might like to soften or close the eyes. Be aware of the soles of your feet, just noticing the left and the right, the sensations along the back of the right leg. How does it feel compared to the left? Okay, taking a slightly deeper breath in, flicker open the eyes. Let's do the same on the other side. So left foot forwards, right foot comfortably back, hips, shoulders coming towards the front, release the hands down by the sides. Okay, take a deep breath in here. Zip up on the exhalation. And then inhale, initiate the movement from the rib cage, so floating the arms up, lifting the gaze up, bending into that front leg, firm the belly as you exhale and slide down. 2 more before we pause in the pose. Pause in the pose. Hasn't changed, have I? Okay, inhaling up, bending into the knee, lovely strong legs. Exhaling down. And this time we'll stay. So inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, just soften the shoulders slightly. Okay, find your breath. Inhale till count of 4. Exhale till count of 6. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 6. And this time inhale for 6. And exhale for 6. Last one, inhale. And as you exhale, straighten the leg, float the arms down, bring the hands onto the front thigh. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, roll or slide the hands down the leg. Inhale, cactus the arms, lift the head, lengthen the spine, press through the feet to come out. Exhale to slide down, tucking the chin in slightly. Inhale, cactus arms, lift the chest. Exhale to slide down, stay in the pose this time, coming to wherever's comfortable. So hands can be on thighs, calves, knees, floor. Letting go of the head a little bit, maybe giving it a nod and shake. Relaxing your shoulders. And again, just find a couple of free breaths here. Lengthening out the back of the left leg and into the glutes, up into the lower back. And then when you're ready, we take a deep breath in. Firm the belly as you exhale, keep it firm. Inhale to cactus the arms, lift the head, lift the chest. Floating back out, release the hands down. Step the back foot forward, have a little wiggle, have a little jiggle if you would like, or come straight into your mountain pose. Soften or close the eyes. Be aware of how the left side feels compared to the right now. Just turning inwards for a moment. And then gently flicker open the eyes. So we've done a lot of different things with the sides of the body. So let's bring ourselves back into symmetry now. Feet about hip distance apart. Bring the hands to the outside edge of your hips. Soft knees. We're going to inhale and lengthen through the spine slightly. As you exhale, just tuck the chin down slightly, slide the hands down the leg, rolling down through the spine. Nice big bend in the knees here. And drape your upper body over the thighs. Just give the head a nod and shake for a moment. And then lovely deep bend into the knees, weight into the heels. You're going to lift the arms up to shoulder height, palms facing down, coming into a little chair pose. We all love chair pose, really. Lengthen your tailbone down, scoop the lower abdomen in, broaden your collarbones here. And let's just stay for a few breaths. Now you can work the breath here if you would like. So you can inhale to a count of 4. Exhale to 6. Zipping up that lower abdomen as you exhale. Inhale to 5. Exhale to 6. Remember to zip up. And then see if you can inhale to 6. Exhale to 6. Last one, inhale to a count of 6. And as you exhale, float the arms all the way back down. Give everything a little wiggle, give everything a little jiggle. And then root down through those feet again. As you inhale, lift the head, lengthen the spine, reach the arms wide. And exhale to come out of chair pose. Giving the legs a shake if they would like. Maybe even a little massage through the thighs might feel quite nice. Okay, let's set up for warrior one again. So right foot forwards, left foot comfortably back. And just make sure you're nice and stable through the legs. Bend into the front knee, reach the arms up into warrior one. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable, you're nice and steady, nice and rooted. On an inhalation, we're going to reach the arms forward slightly. Maybe come up onto the back toes. And as you exhale, cactus the arms and really pull the shoulder blades and the elbows together. On your next inhalation, reach forward. You might either like to step that back foot in a little bit or start to lift it from the ground. A bit close to the camera here, sorry. Exhale, cactus the arms, drop the back foot to the ground. And let's do that again. So coming into warrior 3 via warrior 1. Exhale to float back. Now see if you can control the movement of the back leg coming to the ground. So you're reaching forwards, lifting that back leg. You may come into that nice parallel position, maybe you don't. As you exhale, cactus the arms. With control, bring the toe, the ball of the toe and the heel back to the ground. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching forwards. You may just be up here with the toe on the ground, that's fine. But as you exhale, lower everything down with control. Okay, one more time, whichever variation. And then invite yourself to stay there for a moment. Find your breath. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, lower the foot, cactus the arms, straighten the front leg, release the hands down. Okay, step the feet forwards, give the legs a little shake out. And then setting up for the other side when you're ready. So left foot forwards, right foot comfortably back, hips towards the front. Okay, inhale in to warrior 1. Sweep those arms up, bend into that front knee, relax the shoulders. Okay, as you inhale here, reach forward slightly, coming up onto that back toe or lifting. And as you exhale, cactus the arms, drop the back foot down. And again, inhale, reach forwards, maybe lifting that foot from the ground. Exhale, slowly with control, place the foot back down. Just keep that going with your breath. Don't worry if you wobble, don't worry if you fall. Building coordination, balance, movement. Okay, the next time we're there, let's just hold it there wherever you are. You could be up here with the arms and the toe on the ground. You could be leaning forwards. You may notice one leg is considerably better than the other. That again is absolutely okay. Just notice. Find your breath. And then as you exhale, release down. Step the back foot forwards. Have a little wiggle, have a little jiggle. And then just soften or close the eyes, coming into your mountain pose. Tune in to everything that's present. Maybe a slightly elevated heart rate. Maybe you notice the breathing is slightly quicker. Just take this time to allow everything to settle back down. Okay, flicker open the eyes. Bring the hands to your heart space. So keeping your feet where they are, no need to change them. We're just going to inhale to open the arms wide, palms facing upwards, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, just draw the shoulder blades and the elbows towards one another. Now you might like to imagine it's a glorious day here today. You may like to imagine just lifting your gaze towards the sun, opening up your heart space. And let's just find our ratio of breath here. So inhale for 4. Exhale to 6, and maybe pull those elbows and shoulders together slightly on the exhalation. Inhale to 5. Exhale to 6. Inhale for 6, if that's comfortable. Exhale to 6. Find that lovely opening of the chest, front of the respiratory system. And then release the arms down. Pause again. Just notice for a moment. And then come down onto your knees. Always taking time with our transition. You're welcome to pad the knees, give them some love, particularly if you're on a hard floor. I'm on carpet, so it feels fine. But if you're on a hard floor, put a cushion or a blanket underneath your knees slightly. Okay, inhale, sweep those arms wide. Again, getting the breath to initiate the movement. So inhaling all the way up. Cross the wrists over at the top. Remember which hand's in front. And as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. The hand that was in the front comes onto your lower back. You place the other hand on top. Inhale to float up. Bring the other arm in front this time. That arm comes onto the lower back. The other hand comes on top. Inhale up. And if you got a little bit confused, don't worry. It's good for the brain just to have a little bit of confusion. Little bit of focus and concentration. Last one. And then we'll just rest for a moment. In our little child's pose. You might like to hold on to the wrist here with your, hold on to the left wrist with your right hand and just softly bow the head. And then slowly unravel, walk the hands out in front, bring yourself down onto your tummy. Don't know if you've had to see me, I've not done this camera angle for a while. Oh, you can, there we go. Okay, let's stack the hands either underneath our shoulders or down towards the ribs slightly. Take the feet about a foot apart, tops of the toes pressing into the mat. Forehead comes to the ground. And as you inhale, just lift the head, lift the chest, lift the hands just a tiny amount. Firm the belly as you exhale and lower everything back down. 3 more times. Lift the face, the chest, the hands, lengthening the spine. Firm the belly, lower hands, chest and face. And just do 2 more in your own time. One last time. Inhale up. Exhale to lower down. And then slowly press yourself back to child's pose. You can take the knees wider apart if you would like. Walking the hands out in front and just relaxing the forehead down. Again, always an option here to bring a block underneath your forehead or your hands. And then softly find your breath. Making your way from child's pose onto your back. Bringing the knees into the chest for a moment. Maybe having a little rock from side to side. Okay, take the arms out nice and wide. Bring the palms down to the ground. So making a little T shape with your arms. Option here, you can keep the knees in towards your chest. If you have problems with the lower back, or you prefer the stability, bring the feet flat to the ground. I'm going to demonstrate it with the feet on the ground, but you can do this with the knees in towards the chest. So take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, just allow the knees to go over to the right, just about 1/3 of the way. And then inhale back to center. Let the knees drift over 1/3 of the way as you exhale to the left. Inhale to center. And then we'll go 2/3 of the way over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left 2/3 of the way. Inhale to center. Drop both knees over to the right, to the point that is comfortable for you, and pause there for a moment. You might like to take your gaze along your left arm. Just take a couple of soothing, calming breaths here. And then when you feel ready to, bring the knees back through center, head back to center. Drop the knees all the way over to the other way, over to the left. And maybe your gaze travels along the right arm. And again, just finding your breath, being curious about where you can invite the breath into the body. And then on your next inhalation, bringing both legs back to center. If you had your knees in towards the chest, bring them down to the ground now. So bring the feet down to the ground, knees up towards the ceiling. Hands come down by the sides of the hips, palms facing down. On an inhalation, just lift the hips softly from the ground. And exhale to lower down. Do that 2 more times. Last one. And when the hips next come back down to the ground, You can either stay here, take your Shavasana with the knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Some of you may just have a desire to hug the knees into the chest first. Or you can extend the legs out nice and long, coming into Shavasana. You're welcome to place a bolster underneath the knees if you would like. I'm going to sit up just for a moment. I'd like you to come into Shavasana, the pose of relaxation. And allow your eyes to soften or to close. Soften your eyelids. Relax the jaw. And allow your tongue to float away from the roof of the mouth and relax in the space of your mouth. Soften the shoulders, elbows, wrists and hands. Soften the front of the body, the back of the body, and the sides of the body. Soften your hips, pelvic bowl, and torso. And let that feeling of relaxation trickle down your legs, all the way out of the tips of your toes. Relax, relax, relax. You'll hear my voice again in about 2 minutes. Please take a slightly deeper breath in. Bring awareness back to your body resting on the mat. Invite a little bit of movement to fingers, to toes, wrists and ankles. And then stretching out, awakening your body. Hug the knees into the chest. And make the slow transition, rolling onto one side of the body. Use your hands to press yourself up, making the transition back to a comfortable seated position. And from here, we're just going to work with the breath for the last few moments. So make sure you're comfortable. This can be done seated in a chair if you're not comfortable seated on the ground. Lovely tall spines. Nice relaxed shoulders, tiny smile on the corner of your mouth. Allow the eyes to close down and just take a couple of free breaths here. Now on your next breath in, Breathe into your count of 4. And exhale to a count of 6. And do that again, breathing in for 4. And breathing out to 6. Now you can stay here or you can inhale for 5. And exhale for 6. Do that again. Inhale 5. Exhale for 6. And then if you would like, inhale for 6. And exhale for 6. Keep that going. For some of you, it might feel nice to add a tiny pause after the next inhalation. Just find that ratio that feels really comfortable, nourishing and calming for you. And we're going to do about 6 more rounds of your comfortable ratio. If you're not fond of counting, just follow the breath in and follow the breath out. When you finish your next round, please take your time, but when you finish that round, let go of any form of counting. Let the breath find your steady rhythm. And take a moment here to check in, notice. Tuning in to how the nervous system is feeling, how the breath is feeling, how the body is feeling, and lastly, how is the mind feeling? Take a slightly deeper breath in, flicker open the eyes, bring your hands to prayer, softly bow the head, and let's finish the class with the chanting of the Om. Inhale for Om. Thank you for taking time for yourself. Thank you for practicing with me today. Who knows when I'll be back, but I appreciate every one of you, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you on the mat soon. Om Shanti. Namaste.